Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Get Ready With Me and Devotion. We're starting to get back in the regular routine again, and I'm almost back from vacation. I have been missing you guys a little bit, so we are easing back into the routine, like I said, and we're going to get ready for the day and talk about Jesus. So today's verse is Leviticus 19:18, and it says, "Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord." So this verse is presented to us to pursue divine and righteous intentions when it comes to the thoughts of revenge or vengeance. And in a society where retaliation is often expected, God calls his people to a higher standard. And it's not just love and affection, but rather a commitment to the well-being of others, measured by how we care for ourselves. And speaking of that, the part of loving your neighbor as yourself is so important because it encourages yet challenges us to extend that same care to others as we would in our own self-regard. This isn't necessarily about liking everyone, but rather about choosing to act according to their best interest, even when it's hard. And then the part of the verse that says, "I am the Lord," it's not just a reminder of who's speaking, but it's a call to reflect God's character and sovereignty as the righteous judge of all mankind. In seasons of life where someone does wrong against me, I always have to remind myself that it's not my place to bring wrath because God always does it better. And a lot of times we take things personal and fail to realize that sometimes, in most cases, not all, that it's not even us as the person. It can sometimes be the lack of emotional, mental, or spiritual growth in the other person's life that causes them to act out and respond in the ways that they do. So once they've learned, rehearsed, and taken that behavior out on you, and they fail to change or realize the harm that they are doing, there's nothing else you can do because that person is no longer serving a purpose that is meaningful to where you are and where you're going in life. And sometimes we can be caught up with what a person didn't do, but we also fail to ask ourselves if they were even either physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially capable to do it or to give it to us in the first place. And we just put them on a pedestal off of our emotions. There was a time in my life where I was dealing with disappointment from an individual who promised me a lot of things on the front end, but as time progressed, there was no substance to back up those grand actions and goals and plans, and I had to stop looking at it from the perspective of why did this happen? Because truth be told, all along I was being shown the clues and answers as to why it didn't happen, and I just had to change the perspective I was viewing it from. So this scripture, it really invites us to respect the sovereignty of God and realize that revenge distorts our focus, causing us to spiral in a cycle because we're operating from a spirit of offense as well. When you seek revenge, it can cause you to live life to try to prove a point rather than freely live life in God. And if all you see is vengeance, then you'll never see victory. So whatever place and space you're in struggling to forgive someone, just know it's not too late. Whether you get an apology or not, fix your heart to be still and know that God is God. Be grateful for the lessons you learned and use those lessons as you live life intentionally the way God desires for you to. Well, we've come to the end of this Get Ready With Me and Devotion episode. For more vlogs like these, go to my playlist section and all of my Get Ready With Me and Devotion vlogs are there for your viewing pleasure. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing Sunday and get to church.